church building, some painters were doing some repair work on the church. It was then discovered that the additional pillars that Sir Christopher placed in the building missed the roof by 2 feet. Greatness cannot be destroyed by jealousy. Greatness is always at least 2 feet taller.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildman, a production of the American Family Association.
The Awakening. The Awakening.
今日どうだったクラスは。お家の娘じゃない妹が分かんないけど。ああ、月曜日と金曜日。じゃあ今日はちゃんとできたわけ。クラス。サウナ入った？サウナ入ってシャンプーも浴びた。よかったね。
They are found. I can't imagine the horror of being stuck at the bottom of the ocean in a watery tomb, because that's what it boils down to. I mean, this thing, I don't know whether you've seen pictures of this thing from the inside, but this thing, it was a very, very, very close in space. With oxygen, if they're alive, and I pray that they are alive, with oxygen now running out, they're down to, I think, I know less than 24 hours now that they've got before they're rescued, and they're finding some noises. But I'll tell you something, folks. I hope when they come up out of there, they will find some other things to do with the vast wealth that they've been blessed with, than putting their lives at risk trying to go down and look at the Titanic. I mean, people have a right to do whatever they want to do with their money, so don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't think anybody should be able to tell them any differently. I would just say I would lovingly recommend that there are a whole lot of productive things that they could be doing with the vast wealth they've been given, rather than putting their lives on the line to go down there in that thing to see something they could easily see on film. So hope they come up safe and sound, and I hope nobody else decides to take that as some kind of recreational event. So, but look, I don't want to be negative about these people. I'm hoping that they're alive and that they will be rescued. And I mean that very, very, very sincerely. The number is 888-589-8840. That's 888-589-8840. A couple of other things I want to put on the table just for you to be thinking about. One is, I already mentioned this base down in China, which needs to be stopped. This Chinese, down in China, in Cuba, this base that China is building in Cuba. First we were told it was a spy base. Now we're told it's a military training installation in Cuba. That should not be permitted, period. But they're doing this stuff because they know we've got a weak administration that won't do anything about it. Okay, enough on that. Biden has forced members of the Social Security Administration, which means that they're doing this across the entire government, to take mandatory LGBTQ training. Now that's what they're calling it, of course. Mandatory LGBTQ training. And it centers on following the life of a male employee named Patrick, who starts to identify as a woman named Patricia, and then it walks through how to treat Patricia, call Patricia by the right pronouns, and how you got a responsibility not to make Patricia feel uncomfortable, and you've got to impress upon everybody as supervisors that they've got to address Patricia by her proper pronouns, and that Patricia's sense of equanimity and peace on the job should never be questioned. Everything centers around, let's make sure that we don't do or say anything that might in any way offend Patricia, who we formerly knew as Patrick. And by the way, and training also about private conversations. I kid you not, folks, about private conversations about Patricia. Now, this is communism. So when you're discussing privately, you can't say, I mean, man, you know, I think Patrick was just fine for me. Oh, no. You can't say that. Not even in private. And if it's discovered that you are having such conversations in private, you are going to be in trouble. this, folks, again, we are moving toward a totalitarian culture, and now this is the government imposing that totalitarianism right now just on employees, but they'd love to do it for all of us, for the rest of us. But there's good news. The Texas Rangers, God bless the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers have refused to hold a Pride Night, or as I prefer to call it, a perversion night. They've refused. People are all worked up. The homosexual, gender confused, perverse child grooming movement is all worked up. But the Texas Rangers have said no. God bless them. Somebody needs to say no. We're not participating in this abomination. And lastly, folks, this is the best news. There's a poll showing that the number of Americans who believe that homosexual relationships are perfectly moral is declining. It is down even from 2019. And I've said this many times. That was the first mistake. The moment people accepted this whole concept, it's down from 71% in 2019 down to 64% in 2023. The moment people accepted the sexual orientation nonsense, oh yeah, well, they just have a different sexual orientation, was the beginning of the end. Because now look where we are. We got people wanting to teach 3-year-old children that you're not the person you were born. There's a different person inside you, and we're gonna start grooming you to not be Joey. We're gonna start grooming you to be Janie. That's where it started. And we got to come back to the point of saying homosexuality is sin. It is wrong. It is not normal. It is not good. It is not right. It is not appropriate. And I don't support it in any way. Now, I treat every human being with the dignity and respect that a human being deserves. But as far as that lifestyle is concerned, I am in no way ever going to sanction or approve it because the Bible condemns it. 888-589-8840 is the number. All right, let's get some calls in. Let's go to Max in Georgia. Max, welcome.
Hey, Dr. Bishop. Yeah,
hey, Max.
I just wanted to share with you that I had 2 points. Number one, you were referencing earlier about what you love of your country. What I thought of first was John F. Kennedy, is where he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country." So that sort of puts it in a nutshell. And then number 2 is, I just wonder, this individual, Chris Wallace, when he blew up the debate between Trump and Biden, I just wonder what impact he made on the election, and what his net worth is now. And that's all my points.
Thank you very much, Max. Appreciate the call. Well, he was a closet leftist. Nobody knew it. He hid it well. But when he worked for CNN, that was the beginning of the end of his career. Because they imploded, and he never got what he thought he was going to get. Maybe he got a big paycheck. I don't know. Let's go to Mike in West Virginia. Mike, welcome.
Thank you for taking my call. I wanted to comment on the anti-gun crazies. I've heard that one of the TV streaming services, I forget which one, is re-releasing the Warner Brothers cartoons, but they've edited out Elmer Fudd's shotgun and Yosemite Sam's revolvers.
Are you serious?
That's what I've heard.
Oh my goodness. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't mean to question you and say, are you serious? But it's just, oh my goodness gracious. I grew up on those cartoons, and I never once watched those cartoons and thought, hey, when I grew up, I want to go out and shoot somebody. I mean, it's just, Robin, thank you so much for the call. We appreciate it. That is Mike. I'm with Mike. Robin, I'm going to come to you. I'm with Mike. That is just preposterous. It really is just utterly preposterous. And but here again, folks, here's what this is all about. And please don't forget this, because this will help you understand this. When you reject God's morality, which is absolute, You have to make up a morality of your own. You have to become your own God and create your own morality so that you can pat yourself on the back and say, look how good a person I am. We went in there and we edited those cartoons. We're really good people. And those of you who don't understand that, you're really bad people. Yeah, that's really what this boils down to. That's what climate change is all about. Oh, by the way, today was the day the world was supposed to end, according to Greta Thunberg, I guess her name is. She predicted 5 years ago to the day that the world would be over today as a result of climate change. We're still here, and we'll be back in a moment.
American Family Studios was started back in 2011 as a way to advance the Christian worldview into an increasingly media-rich culture.
Media is like such a powerful tool to communicate the gospel. I love writing stories, getting in my office, and just thinking, how can we portray this concept of who God's character is? And to get to use the gifts that God has given me is really a joy.
AmericanFamilyStudios.net.
Hi, this is Todd Nettleton with the Voice of the Martyrs Radio, inviting you to join us Friday, July 14th for the Hearts of Fire virtual event. You'll meet 4 courageous women who showed incredible commitment to Christ in the face of intense persecution. The special event is free. Hear these inspiring testimonies of costly faith, plus worship led by Michael W. Smith. You can watch from wherever you are. Register online at heartsevent.com.
Telling Bibleist believers in Asia no, that's the hardest thing we do. This is Bible League International, and we spent the last few weeks telling you about the incredible move of God in the region of Asia, the part of the world where Christianity is growing fastest, but as many as 9 of 10 new believers in countries like China, India, and Bangladesh have no access to the Bible. They cannot open the Bible and be reminded of God's precious promises. Hey, we've told you about Shanti Varden in India, born blind, wanted to end his life, but God brought him to saving faith. He's led hundreds to Jesus. They need Bibles in India. And Katsu, nearly beaten to death by his interrogator, but he led that man to Jesus, and together they've witnessed thousands coming to Christ just outside of Beijing. AFR listeners, you have blessed 12,000 Bibleist believers in Asia. Our goal is 16,000. We're still short. We need to wrap up June 25th, so at $5 a Bible, $100 since 20. Pray about it and then call 800-YES-WORD. 800-YES-WORD. 800-YES-WORD, or give it sendbiblesnow.org. Sendbiblesnow.org. And God bless you for caring.
And soon, the sun is entirely blocked out and everything is dark. You can see stars in the sky at 9 a.m.
Aaron Lynham on Focus on the Family Minute, offering ideas to enjoy the outdoors.
And our son, who was 4 at the time, he just said, Mom, how does God do that? And it was so incredible to see that he was making that connection. And I talk about that experience as one of my Hebron experiences, like Abram in Genesis 15, when God pointed to the stars and made that covenant promise. I think it's so important to notice that God anchored that promise, that truth, in the visual of the night sky, and just how powerful that is. I love that at the beginning of that story, the first thing God does, we read, he brought Abram outside. And how powerful that is for us, that we can bring our kids outside where they can have those Hebron experiences.
More parenting advice from Aaron today at FamilyMinute.org.
Back to the Awakening with Bishop E.W. Jackson on American Family Radio.
Can you imagine, folks, troops in Cuba, 90 miles from the U.S. coast, Chinese troops? Looks like that's what we're headed for. See, this goes back to the issue of patriotism and whether we believe that we are stewards over the greatest nation God has ever given mankind, that we have been blessed with this gift, and therefore we have a responsibility to protect it and defend it. And those people, like this professor I mentioned earlier, who are triggered and hate the flag and hate the country and think ill of it, those are the people who could in part be responsible for ushering in a circumstance in which we are overrun by our enemies, because they don't think that America's worth fighting for. They don't think that America's worth dying for. They don't think that America's worth standing up for. And that sadly is where we are in our country. We've got a bunch of people like that now, unfortunately. And the former president, by the way, President Obama was one of them, because, here again, he made that statement. Yeah, these African American conservatives want to validate America. Like, you're a former president of the United States. You don't validate America? No, he never did. He never did. And it is really a sad situation, which is why I think we as Christians are really the keepers of the flame. Because we understand how important and special our country is. And we understand that all this division that the left is stoking is really contrary to creating a bright future for our country and for our posterity. 888-589-8840 is the number. Robin, I'd already mentioned you, but let's come to Robin in North Carolina. Robin, welcome.
Hi, Bishop. I try to remind people this all the time when people say, what's going on in the world? Everything's just so crazy. Dr. Dobson told us probably 25 years ago, don't think when they get homosexual marriage that they're going to stop. They're not going to stop. After they get that, they'll move on to transgenderism. And then after that, they'll move on to pedophilia, which the college professors right now saying pedophilia is a victimless crime. Nobody gets hurt. And after that, they'll move on to bestiality because when a nation has turned its back against the holy God, you're going to reap the evil of everything that you've done.
Robin.
It don't get worse unless we just have a true revival that's turning around.
Amen. Amen, Robin. Thank you for the call. And Robin, you nailed it. You said it. And by the way, when all this homosexual acceptance stuff started, we were told, oh no, it's not going to lead to anything else. It's not going to affect anything else. It's not going to be a part. And those of us who were fighting it were saying, you're putting us on a slippery slope. And they said, oh no, there's no slippery slope. This is only about equal rights. And you're right. Then came marriage. Now we've got transgenderism. Now we got to give children drugs and hormones because they don't have the right gender. They weren't put into the right body, and we got to cut off their body parts. I mean, and you're right. Where's it go? Well, we got furries already, so bestiality is not far away, and we got pedophiles now being renamed MAPS, minor attracted persons. So we are on that slippery slope, and we're going to have to literally tell the mountain to move in the name of Jesus to stop this downward slide that we're on. Thank you for the call, Robin. Okay, let's go to Charmaine in Tennessee. Charmaine, welcome.
Hi, how you doing, Bishop?
Great, Charmaine. How are you?
All right. Years ago, I don't know how many years ago it was, there was a baker who refused to bake a wedding cake. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how many years ago that was. And
that was about 5 or 6 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Jack Phillips, I've met him. I don't know him well, but I've met Jack Phillips. He's being sued again because he wouldn't bake a transition cake.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we need to be praying for him. That's just terrible. My gosh.
Yep, him and his wife.
Well, I just wanted to remind you of that.
Yeah, Charmaine, thank you. Yeah, in fact, sometimes I'd like to have Jack Phillips on the program. Just a wonderful, decent man. Like I said, I don't know him well, but I met him, and just a really a gem of a man, a gentleman, and a gentle. I mean, in literal sense of the word, really a gentle soul. Because he said, I've never turned away a single person from my store. Anybody comes in, they'll get the very best service we can provide. But when they ask me to craft a message that I cannot agree with based upon my faith in Jesus Christ and the truth of his word, that's where I have to say no. But they act like he's a bigot, he's a hater, he's an homophobe, and he won't. And if you've met the man, you just think, what a nice, decent individual. And they basically just, what they've done is just ambushed him to try to make an example, to intimidate us all. You better bow down or we're going to throw you in the fiery furnace. That's really the message. Thank you for the call. Charmaine, let's see. Let's go to Don in Arkansas. Don, welcome.
Hey, yes, sir. How are you? I love your show.
Thank you.
I have a question about homosexuality in the Bible. I lived for many years up in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, which is a kind of an art community town up in the mountains, and there's a large LGBTQ population there, and frankly, after I was there 10 years, I just had known so many people that fell into that lifestyle that I am struggling with. The whole issue on the topic. I guess my point is, I just did a little reading, and according to what I read, the word in the Bible in the New Testament, I don't remember what it is. It's Greek. I don't know Greek. It starts with an A, but the word was that it had to do more with pedophiles or taking advantage of minors rather than actual male-to-male or female-to-female connection. And I if that's the case, then, man, this whole thing about the troubles that those people are creating is based on a false premise, and that's my question.
All right, Don, thank you for the call. No, the Bible makes very, very clear, in fact,